I just tell you a little bit about Dublin. Sorry for interrupting just while we're passing here. Or do you want me to wait?
You go ahead.
Keep going.
Alrighty. I shall do. So guys, so Dublin City. So just say for example America's history is what, 280, 300 years old? Irish history, and it's been inhabited since about 7,000, 8,000 BC.
Brag.
So it's a real old, ancient, prehistoric city and country. So the Vikings sailed up the River Liffey, which is a block over, and they founded Dublin in the year 941 AD. So that's a long time ago. So Dublin is an ancient city, and of course a medieval city. That's why it's very compact, very busy, very narrow, and difficult to navigate if you didn't know the city, because roads just flow out of everywhere. But coming off to your left is Trinity College. And Trinity College was founded in what year, anybody? Rough idea? 1592. Founded by Queen Elizabeth I, sort of to stamp her authority on the English crown, so to speak. So way back in 1592, and that's where the Book of Kells is housed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head up to the largest park in any city in all of Europe. It's even bigger than Central Park in New York, and it's called Phoenix Park. So we're going to go up there for a bit. But if you look at the building here in front of us, see this big huge building right in front of us? And see the way all the windows are stoned up and all blocked off, because that building was the Parliament building of 1800. Did you ever hear the phrase daylight robbery? Anybody? Did you ever hear the phrase daylight robbery? Well, if say you go into a store and you buy a sweater and it's like $200 and you go, oh my god, that was expensive. But we use the phrase, that was daylight robbery. And that's because Ireland was governed, of course, by Britain for 800 years. And when Ireland became a free state in 1922, because the British did taxation on the old cottages of Ireland. So the bigger the windows you had, the more taxation you had to pay. You probably heard that story before. So when Ireland became a free state, they blocked up all the windows. That's where the phrase comes from, daylight robbery.
So pretty much, someone would say daylight robbery every time they go to the gas station.
Yes.
You got it. Yeah.
That is absolute. Who said that?
Sebastian.
Sebastian, you are absolutely 100% correct there, Mundo. That is right. Daylight robbery. And of course for the children on board as well. Do you know the phrase raining? Do you ever hear the phrase raining cats and dogs?
Yes. Yeah.
That is Irish, and do you know where it comes from?
No.
Well, now as we travel through rural Ireland, no, we're going to be in Dublin City for a while, but when you see the little small thatched cottages, and especially back in the 1800s, early 1900s, the walls themselves were very low, only maybe 5'8", 5'9", and then you had a thatched roof, and cats and dogs could simply jump up on top of them, because they used to love to sleep there and reside there, because the straw was so thick and so soft, and it was a place where they loved to sleep. And then when it rains, down they come. And that's where the phrase comes from, raining cats and dogs.
I love it.
Okie dokie.
Write this in your travel book.
So that's an Irish saying. So guys, if you look here, right in front of us as well, this is the smack bang centre of Dublin City, and this is called O'Connell Bridge. It's the only car crossing bridge in the world that's wider than it is longer. Now the Irish engineers, of course, they probably drank a bottle of Jameson and a few pints of Guinness while they're designing it, but it's kind of extraordinary to have it wider than it is longer. So there's 6 cities in Ireland, and most of them were founded by the Vikings, but you needed water. So there's a river flowing through every single city in Ireland, all 6 of them. And here on the right hand side is called the River Liffey, and that flows all the way back down into Dublin Bay there. But before 1816 you had to get a boat across. That's the only way you could cross the River Liffey. And a guy called William Walsh owned 7 little boats, and the local council got onto him before 1816 that, of course, his boats were falling apart and they were old and, you know, wood rotten and the whole lot. So he was given an ultimatum by the council. They said, you either build a bridge or you fix your boats. What did he do? He built a bridge. So this bridge here on the right hand side is the first cast iron bridge and the first bridge to cross the River Liffey, and the first cast iron bridge in Ireland. And it's called the Halfpenny Bridge. And the reason why they call it the Halfpenny, because when the bridge was opened on March 17th, 1816, in order to compensate the ferrygoers, of course, they would have to pay a half a penny for 100 years to compensate the ferrygoers. So the River Liffey's first cast iron bridge. And of course, now there's no fewer than 15 bridges crossing the River Liffey.